Well, we don't wear skimpy bikinis. Hell, it frightens me when I take my shirt off. There's definitely no one pregnant here. This is motor sailing for old dudes. We do live on a boat, and we do cruise extensively along the Australian coast. Join us and visit some great destinations. Learn how to look after a boat and live off grid. It might even get you enthused to do the same thing. Hey, stay out there till you can't. It's another very grey day as we head back out under the harbour bridge and down to Rose Bay, where we're going to drop Wombi off. Wendy's got all the bags off the boat. Marlene's picked her up. She's on the plane tomorrow back to Brisbane, and I've decided we've got a nice little southerly blowing at the moment, so I'm going to skip up to Pittwater. I'll get one leg out of the way, so I'll jump up to Pittwater and wait there for a bit more weather. We may be leaving at the right time. The weather up north doesn't look too bad. Sydney looks shocking. We're definitely getting some rain down there. So good time to be heading up the coast, I think. Beat a ham and cheese toasty when you're at sea. Easy to make and good on the chew. We're about 5 nautical miles from Barrenjoey Headland now, so got about another hour before we're into Broken Bay, and I think we're going to go up to Jerusalem or American Bay. There'll be plenty of moorings up there, so we'll grab a mooring, and probably with all the rain we've had, there'll be a few waterfalls flowing too, so we might have a look at them. But we're going to have to wait here for a couple of days because northerlies are coming in tonight, and it won't be much fun out here in a northerly, so we'll wait till it goes back around to trade wind weather again and get on it. This is Carreel Head, and you can see Barrenjoey a bit further up in front of us. Well, it's been a pretty good trip up the coast. About 3 hours I think it took to get from Sydney Harbour to here, and we're just going to go up into Refuge Bay and try and pick up a mooring. So sun's out again now, but we've had a fair bit of rain on the way up. It's been a bit of a lousy day, but we'll get up into Refuge and have a look at what it's like in there. I think there's a couple of really good waterfalls, so they should be working with all the rain we've had. But that's been a pretty good trip north and knocked the first leg out for sure. Well, a beautiful morning here in America Bay. Very peaceful night. You don't realise how noisy some places are until you come to somewhere where it's really quiet, and the quietness in here is quite obvious. Looks like it's going to be a pretty nice day. There's a bit of low cloud around, but I think that'll burn off, and we might have a bit of sunshine today. We'll be here for a day or two, just waiting for the weather. So Monday looks like being pretty good to skip a bit further up, probably to Lake Macquarie.
Great spot, but I couldn't find any waterfalls, even with the drone.
First thing for the morning, cup of tea. Not much to do today. I'll get down and check my engines, make sure they're ready to go again, and after that, maybe a bit of editing. But yeah, I don't know if there's too many walks around here. We might go and have a look later. Maybe a bit of an explore in the dinghy. This is American Bay, and it's pretty good example of what Broken Bay has to offer. Some beautiful anchorages through here, and you get further up Coal and Candle Creek and right up that end, lots of good anchorages up there too. So it's a great little spot if you want to spend a week or two. Unfortunately, I'm on a bit of a mission now. Wombi's headed back up north, and I'm only going to spend a couple of days here, and then I'm going to head up the coast a bit further. Next jump will be Lake Macquarie, that's about 33 miles, and then another 33, 34 up to Port Stephens, and they're all about 35 nautical mile trips, so I'll break them up into that sort of distance, and I'll do it pretty easy. There's a lot of moorings in around Pittwater. A lot of them are club moorings, and I don't think you're supposed to take them up, but there are some public ones as well. The public ones are a bit hard to identify, but they do have a tag on them telling you how to use them. I think there's only 2 public moorings here in America's Bay, so lots of private and club ones, but not too many public ones. We're up a little bit early this morning. I'm just going to leave America's Bay, and we're heading down to the bar at Brisbane Water. Bit of a bar there, bit of an entrance, and I thought I'd just go down and film that. I've had one of my followers have said, could I do it? So I'll do that, and we can put that on bays and bars on the east coast of Australia for you to have a look at. So we've got northerly today, so I don't want to go to sea. I'm going to wait here till tomorrow to skip up to Lake Macquarie. So I may as well spend the day doing a bit of filming. Going to come in behind Lion Island here and across the other side to Little Box Head. A couple of buoys marking the entrance over here, so we just got to keep an eye out for them. This is not actually a river bar. It's just the entrance to Brisbane Water. It's very well sheltered by Box Head and Little Box Head, and you shouldn't have too much trouble with breaking water as you enter here. But there is a lot of sand around, and you've just got to watch the entrance a bit. There are no leads across it, but you can see there's lateral marks at the entrance here, and I can see further laterals further up, so it's just a matter of lining the marks up and heading into the deep water. Well, I'm getting out of here. We're anchored in about 1.7 metres of water, and it was going to get lower at low tide. And I had this idiot come past at 10 knots, a 4-knot zone, comes past at 10 knots, throws up a big wake and bounces me off the bottom. So unfortunately it's not a great anchorage because of the idiots that don't obey the rules. Anyway, we'll head out, and I'm just going to anchor up under Box Head, and that'll keep us out of the northerlies. There's not much northerly on at the moment, but that'll do us until tomorrow, I hope. Pleasant little spot to spend a day and a night, I think. Well, here's someone I've been trying to catch up to for a while. It's Frank off the Kathleen Marie. He's just done a circumnavigation around Tassie in this lovely little 32-footer. He paddles over and we talk boats for a couple of hours. Great to catch up with you, mate.
That's right. I'm on YouTube all the time. But yeah, I watch a bit of footy, but yeah, that's about footy. I can't.
I've been keeping my eye on the weather, and it's gone round to the northwest now, or the west, and it's blowing into this little anchorage here. So I'm just going to skip across the other side. I think it's Ettalong Beach or Umina. I'm just going to skip over there. It's only a mile or so away. So we'll hop over there and anchor up, and that should put us in pretty calm water for tonight, and it's still not far to jump out of Broken Bay tomorrow morning when the wind goes round.
Should be a pleasant little spot for tonight, I think. Wind's offshore, not much swell getting in. Fantastic.
Well, what a great little spot. We've just moved across from Box Head, and there's a little bay over here, and I'm just sort of tucked around the corner a little bit, but there's not too much swell getting in here, and it's a sandy bottom, so the anchor's got hold pretty well. And I'm going to have an early barbie for tea tonight, and we'll get out of here early in the morning and get up to Lake Macquarie. There's a boat across there. I'll have to have a look at the tides and see what it's going to be like, but it's a pretty easy one to get into. And yeah, we should have a pretty good run up the coast. About 15 knots from the south tomorrow, so it's pretty well out of the west at the moment, but we've got good shelter in this bay, so I think I'll have a pleasant night here. So let's have a bit of dinner and yeah, probably maybe watch a bit of footy and then off to bed early. I think it's going to be a pretty good night here. Up a little bit before the sun this morning. Winds around to the south a bit, and it was a pleasant anchorage where we were last night. Wasn't too bad at all. A little bit of slop coming in later in the night, but not too bad at all. And we're just heading around Box Head now and out to sea, and we'll be up to Lake Macquarie. I'm trying to work out whether I'm going to stay there for a day or two and get into the lake, or whether I'm only going to overnight there and stay outside of the lake. So I'll have another look at the weather when I get up there. It is going around to the northeast, and probably puts it a little bit on the nose for tomorrow. Good today, but tomorrow it's going to go around a little bit and be a little bit of a beat into it. So we might leave that and stay in the lake for a day or two and get on it again Thursday. But anyway, I'll make that decision once I get up there. Looks like being a nice day. There's a bit of rain out at sea, but looks like it's going to be quite fine over the land here, so we should have a good trip. I'll get round Box Head here. I'll set up a course up to Lake Macquarie and see about getting a bit of sail out. Sail out and a bit more speed. Fantastic. I'll just shorten sail a little bit. We're about an hour out of Swansea now, and then we've got to cross the bar into Lake Macquarie. I think I'm going to go into the lake because I've just looked at the weather and it looks like being good again next Friday. Same sort of conditions as today. Tomorrow goes around to the north a bit and I don't really want that, so I've got about the same amount of time to travel when I head to Nelson Bay. So I'll just get it right. I can wait a little while. Lake Macquarie is a great spot to have to wait for weather. I'll probably go over to Wombi and tie up there at the jetty or on a mooring. And I think the plan is I've got to get in through the channel. They're using the channel that I marked the last time I was here to get into the lake, which is a bit deeper, but I want to leave that till high tide. So I'm probably going to prop, once I get across the bar, I'm going to prop just before the bridge. I'll pick up one of the moorings there and I'll go and do some shopping at the Woolies at Swansea. And then we'll get the bridge opened later on this afternoon and I'll head up into the lake. Fantastic. Got a few people to catch up with there as well, so we'll try and do that in the time I'm going to be there. Beautiful day travelling today. It's been a real pearler. I've loved it. Yeah. Starting to see a few ships out here now anchored off Newcastle, and we'll be in amongst them when we head up to Nelson Bay, Port Stephens. You can see out in front of us, and we've got to go up around that and then into Swansea, so time to get a bit of sail in. Just come around onto the leads now. The bar looks really good. I've talked to Marine Rescue Port Macquarie. They're organising a bridge for 2 o'clock, so I should have time to get up there and do a bit of shopping before I go through. If you want to see this bar crossing in full, go to my channel, Bays and Bars on the east coast of Australia, and it'll give you the complete crossing of this bar. But we're just going to go up and pick up one of the courtesy moorings on the ocean side of the bridge. I'll go and do some shopping and then we'll get the bridge opened at 1400 and make our way up into the lake.